Conquering cancer. It's a topic deeply personal to so many of you and to us here at CBS 6.
That's because these days it really seems everyone is somehow touched by this potentially deadly disease.
That moment, you never forget that moment.
Chrissy Buttigieg is a 35-year-old mother of two, and she's also our assistant news director. Doctors diagnosed Chrissy with appendix cancer, a 1 in a million diagnosis earlier this year.
My first question to him was, is this a death sentence? Are you saying I'm never going to see my kids grow up? Because we have an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old waiting for us to come home.
26-year-old Nick Colinaria, Hoosick Falls police officer, has been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
There's no pamphlet at the doctor's office that says how to get ready for cancer.
Tonight, we begin a journey to conquer cancer through Chrissy and Nick's eyes.
Starting with the emotional toll this disease takes on a family. Here's Torie Wells.
My hands and feet are terrible.
With the neuropathy?
Yeah.
This is the medical side of cancer, found inside the walls of doctors' offices and hospitals, where cancer fighters plan treatment, get chemo, have surgery. The emotional side takes root at the words, "you have cancer," and grows at its own pace.
There's so many things you never even think in your mind until you're faced with a diagnosis that could be fatal. Oh, all right, it's fine.
These are the faces our assistant news director, Chrissy Buttigieg, pictured when a doctor told her they'd found a tumor after an emergency appendectomy in February.
This totally blows your plans out of the water because, you're planning to see your kids graduate from high school, and now you're thinking, I might not see my baby go to kindergarten.
Hoosick Falls police officer Nick Colinaria was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in March. His mind racing, considering everything at stake.
My family, how they were going to progress for my treatment, and my new career I just started.
The symbolism of cancer is still a thief in the night, something that jumps out, and also feels like, I think for many people, somehow my body has betrayed me.
Edward Dick is a social worker who works with people battling cancer at New York Oncology Hematology. He says it's important for people to understand they're not alone and their feelings are normal.
On one hand, it's a very individual process unique to each individual, but at the same time, there are these common themes that occur.
Chrissy and Nick both told me they often worry about their loved ones and sometimes have felt isolated as chemo wreaked havoc on their bodies.
It's on your own private island. You get used to lying to them to say that you're fine, you're okay, and you're really not.
It's not rational, but you just go through all these things. I found that there was a period where I was apologizing for everything.
Dick says some patients find peace with a support group or therapy. The Hope Club in Latham offers some of those resources too.
The patient has needs, the family has needs.
Nick told me his outlet has been writing down his thoughts and support from the community, family, and friends. For Chrissy, it's her family, her husband Mike, and especially her kids.
There's been a lot of pep talks. There's been a lot of just hand-holding.
When I was going through the worst of chemo, they would remind me that this is what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting to live the rest of my life with them.
Chrissy just had surgery within the last 2 weeks. Her doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering telling her now the outlook is good.
This is pretty much as good as we could have hoped for, yeah.
Nick is done with chemo. His last scan was encouraging, and he'll find out more next month. Both have been waiting for the chance to feel a new emotion, hope.
I'm hoping it's a remission. That'd be great, because then I could get my life back.
It was the first time that I felt like it was a little bit safe for me to start thinking about what life would be like after cancer if no cancer ever came back.
Back with Torie now. And Torie, you drove down to New York City to see Chrissy. How's she doing? I know she just had major surgery in the fight against cancer here.
Right, you saw us in the doctor's office with her. She invited us in so that we could see that part of the follow-up right after her surgery. And she has a long road of recovery ahead, but she's very positive. She's very strong. Both of them working through all of this. Incredible. Now, Chrissy and Nick told us that they hope sharing their experience will help others know that they're not alone, and we posted some resources on our website. Tomorrow night, the message they have for families going through diagnosis right now, what they think has turned the tide on the beast for them.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. And just a few hours ago, members of the community came together to support Officer Colinaria, and you still have time to help him out.
That's right. Right now at Moscatelli's Italian Family Restaurant in Troy, there's a fundraiser for the officer. 20% of all sales will go to the Nick Colinaria Fund. Diners can also enjoy a night of shopping from 6:30 to 9 in Muscatello's Banquet Hall. Local vendors are going to be set up. They have wares for sale to benefit the culinary family.